Yeah, things are good. I still
Okay.
haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time digging through the program so that I can be more intelligent on these calls, but I intend to.
Absolutely, you are. You absolutely are. I mean, you're asking some interesting questions, and making us, hard, taking us giving us a hard look at everything. So that's important. So pushback whenever we say things that you don't agree with. So you're doing that, and I think you're making us sharpen our pencil and making things better. Absolutely. So we welcome hard questions, because that's how we can improve our product. I mean, and we, like I said, we are committed to making sure you guys are fully happy with the product, and that's why we'll do whatever it takes. Keith, you got my commitment, and Sri, my partner, is also on the call. We'll do everything in our power to make sure.
Morning, Keith. How are you?
Good. Well, I appreciate that. And I don't know if I'm your ideal customer or not. I'm a brand new I'm transitioning away from my programming business into trying to provide marketing services as an agency.
Okay.
But I've been studying this stuff off and on for about 15 years. So I have kind of a lot of book knowledge, but not a lot of practical knowledge.
Okay.
But advertising is going to be, to get leads for local businesses, is going to be one of my main service offerings. So it's pretty important, but I'm so new at it that I don't know if I'm your ideal customer or not.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, like, you represent a group of people that are what I call solopreneurs, that are new to this business, but have, let's say, theoretical knowledge. So they understand conceptually what an online marketing does and all that, but they have not really gotten their hands dirty and done a lot of campaigns. So you're definitely in that bucket. So we want to create this product that caters to, let's say, two sets of audiences. One is, the group that you represent, and then the other group is slightly more experienced, more experienced agencies, not large ones, but I would say small to medium agencies that have less than 500 clients. That's the grouping we are going after, because our product is more, I should say, more feature rich compared to like some things out there. So that means we got to explain things like, for example, the brand concept we went through yesterday, and then even the GTM, the Google Tag Manager. Those are concepts that almost any company that I've seen come on Appsumo or even outside does not do. See, one thing I want to clarify, I think we probably, when we go into the screens, we don't really take a big picture view. If you look at the customer journey, right? Can I do like a little sweep of some of the thinking?
Absolutely.
Rather than just getting into the minutia, okay, this button resides here, that type of stuff. I'll definitely go through that too. But I want to give you a sort of macro view of why we have done what we have done. See, for example, the whole idea of advertising is what you want to get customers on your platform and signing up and become paying customer, right? In your case, of course, it's agency. It's a slightly different, longer lead time. But for lots of e-commerce, and I call immediate gratification business. I don't know if I can use the term, but immediate gratification. Okay, I got something like, I don't know, pick an item like hairdo or something, right? And I want it right now, right? There's lots of people selling, besides the behemoths like Amazon. A lot of people are selling stuff online, but those customers they want stuff immediately. Now, what is their customer journey? So somebody looks at content online, right? And then they stumble onto an ad, right? And then only a few of them, or like a select few of them, I should say, are actually coming into your platform, whether it's a Facebook page or whether it's Google, right? And out of that small fraction, only a smaller segment of them engage with your content. Like in typical websites, the bounce rate is very high. Bounce rate means somebody comes into your website, they just immediately quit. And if you track your website, you'll be able to see what is my bounce rate. If the bounce rate is high, that means something is wrong with the website. Like, not wrong, that's not the right term. That means we need to develop better content in order for us to engage the customer. And then the second, the third process is, once they're starting to engage, but is it relevant for them? Like, let's say you have, something like content like prior, customers, or put some use cases or what have you. and they seem interested. So did they download that? In your case, as an agency, did they download your prior use cases? Then after that, only a small select few of them are going to probably get in touch with you. And out of that few that get in touch with you, only a small portion of them will become your customer. So if you look at the broad funnel, you've got outside impressions, a small part of it comes to your website, most of them bounce back, a small part of them look at your content, and even a smaller part of them click and do a little bit of engagement. And out of that engaged customer, only a small fraction of them are going to call you. And then out of that small fraction, only a smaller fraction is going to convert you, right? This is the full customer journey. Most companies that we have sort of looked at in this space, they don't do a lot of stuff that's happening on the website. So for example, they drop you into the website and their job is done. Like for example, you look at any of these ad you need or any of these players out in the market, and especially in Appsumo, they don't look at what happens post landing, I call it. Like the plane's landed, but then what? Then what do you do? Okay, that's it. They drop you and say, you know what, goodbye. Now we are not doing that. We are saying, look, once we land you into the website, we are able to, using our GTM. It's not just GTM. One other thing I want to clarify, yesterday we didn't get a chance. The Google Tag Manager is only one element of our strategy. We have built our own what I call intelligence to understand what's happening inside the website. So inside our GTM, okay, there are 2 more pixels we are adding. Like we are adding our own Crigloo pixel, and then we are also adding another pixel, I think, from Facebook. So we are adding 3 pixels that comprise the GTM. So even though we are loosely calling it GTM, it's a bundled sort of pixel. So what it does, each visitor that comes into your website, we get data on that person. So we know exactly which location they came from, how did they engage in the content. So for example, you know the full customer journey, and then only a small fraction of them convert, right? So and a whole bunch of others don't convert. So given this data set, we are able to have some prediction algorithms that say, out of that vast universe of customers that looked at your ad, what is the propensity for converting this customer. So we have models like that. Some of it is not loaded into the online system, but a lot of it is. So these are the types of things that we are doing that most companies like don't even do, like except maybe Adobe. I don't know if Adobe does that, but Adobe is like one of the large players, and their license fees are like sky high. They are obviously like, they're not catering to the small and medium-sized companies. They're catering to the vast enterprises, and they're offering, I think they're doing some of these things. Last time I looked at it. So most of the companies, they don't look at this because this is pretty complex. You're looking at individual visitor level data and making predictions of which visitor is likely to turn into an engaging person / customer. So that's the full journey. And that's what makes our product a little bit more, I would say, like, maybe not complex, more in the sense richer. But the flip side is, hey, what do I do with this tool? So that's why we are, like people are saying, hey, how do I use this GTM? Because most companies don't use GTM, like that you've seen. And it is not our GTM alone. It's 2 other embedded GTMs that we are doing. If you want individual customer level data, Google Analytics does not offer you that unless you get like a premium license, and you have to pay like $150,000 to get line level data. So, but we have been able to hack, not just hack, we have written our own code in order to acquire visitor level data. So these are points of distinction. I want to sort of bring that out. And like we are obviously a startup. We don't have all the bells and whistles that you may need, but at the end of the day, we are here to service you, and we can even custom craft certain things if there is enough interest from customer base. So I want to take a pause and let you ask any questions. I'm sure you do. So feel free to jump in.
That really sounds pretty fantastic, what you described there about following the individual through the customer journey. You should probably get some of that on your webpage because it's a nice differentiator.
Right.
But so what do you do with it then? So you're doing this predictive analysis on an individual basis. How does that translate into our ads?
Great question. So in the first cycle, right, when you're casting a wide net, you wouldn't know exactly, who's your customer. Let's say you're brand new to the system. But in the next cycle, let's say you do that for 3 months. I'm just giving you an example. Let's say you do it for a quarter. You cast a wide net. Then in the next quarter, the subsequent quarter, you can shrink your audience pool. You can say, you know what, these are customers that I have no luck with. Let's not advertise them. And that way, you're not casting a wider net, your net becomes smaller. And that means you're able to catch, I don't know what you want to, your analogy is like some kind of fish.
You're not
better.
paying for ads to people that are not good prospects, and that's a great
exactly.
idea.
So you're able to zone in on prospects faster, better, and more targeted. And that type of targeting will help you on two fronts. One is getting more customers. The second is your cost structure becomes lower. That's the whole idea. I mean, and these are not some things you can do in 3 days and get results, because you need enough customers in order to know, in order for the prediction algorithm to work effectively.
Yep, that makes sense. So first of
you
all,
want me to, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I love the one-on-one. Looks like nobody else has shown up, and it's a quarter after. I don't want to waste your time on just me, but I would love it if you want to continue. But don't feel pressure to.
No. I am here. Like I said, like see, the first day we got like a lot of people, and then we, sometimes people are busy. I don't know. I'm going to do a poll on Facebook. I've got, see, a lot of people are interested. There are 25 people now on our Facebook page, like our private group. So a lot of people are pinging us, but unfortunately, I think the problem is the footprint is global, and people are in different time zones. I think you are in Central time zone. I'm in Pacific, and a lot of people are in different time zones. So maybe 9 a.m. is not convenient. I don't know. So I'm going to do a little poll.
Yeah, it's a common webinar time. I had to choose between coming to you versus one from IPPC, Invisible PPC, doing a webinar teaching about the new Google Analysis 4 and converting from Google Universal Analytics to 4. So that webinar is going on right now. It's possible some of your audience is over there instead.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I mean,
so
yeah, go
so
ahead.
one question I have at whatever point makes sense is shoot, I lost it. You can talk and I'll remember what my question was, and I've got to start writing things down. Let's see, it was about the ads. Oh, responsive. You talked briefly about responsive yesterday. Do you currently support the responsive ads, or is that something coming up?
No, we do. We absolutely do responsive ads. So if you look at our gallery, we have different formats of ads. Let me just show it to you, because sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Sure.
So let me do this once again. Let me share my screen right now. So when you, just to recap, right, when you sign in, you get this 6-pack, and then you click on gallery, which is on the bottom, middle bottom. So you just click on that. So you get the same objective, which I talked about yesterday, the branding, which is essentially a workspace, as we discussed last session. And then you have landing page and Facebook. I think some users were also wondering what this is and what is inside. The way this is done is there is 2 of them, right? You can either land on a website, or you can land on Facebook page. And if you enter it here, every ad format that you use will basically recycle this. But if you say, you know what, I know this is just a generic website, but I have something special for this particular ad, you're free to change inside the ad. I think that was a question asked by someone. So you have 2 knobs. So you said recycle, but what you meant was it will rotate through each of them one at a time. Yes? No. Sorry, let me back up. So when you put, let's say I put Crigloo.com right here. Let's say when you go into the ad, it will basically put Crigloo.com for all the ads. Basically, you don't have to retype it across. Let's say you're doing 4 ads. If you put it here, it'll basically copy it across all the ads. That's all it does. Okay, so how does the Facebook one fit in? Yeah, the Facebook one is your Facebook page. So it'll just say, hey, I want to land on Crickbot, which is our Facebook page, and it'll just land there. And if you have a different, let's say you have 4 Facebook pages, you can choose to pick the one that you want for the campaign. So, and if you pick it here, all the ads will have that particular Facebook as the landing page. So it's up to you, the user. It's just a way to save some typing. That's all it is. There's nothing more than that.
So what happens if we hit the plus on the right of that? No,
That's a
far
lead.
Yeah.
If you want to create a new Facebook page, I think that's what that is.
Okay, so once we set up the various landing pages,
right?
We still have to, at the ad level, pick which one of those the ad goes to. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and it'll typically come. Let me show you one example. Let's look at the static image as an example. See, remember I put Crigloo.com as a landing page, so right here it comes up. You see that?
Yeah.
On the bottom.
Yeah.
So we are just saving some typing for the user, nothing more than that. And you can come in here and say, you know what, I don't want Crigloo, I want to overwrite this. I want to put something else. I don't know, Keith, your business. I don't know what your business. Can you share your business name, maybe?
Yeah, zmagic.com.
So you just put that. That's all. So you can. This will overwrite what's in the front side. So basically, but what's in the front is just a way to save some typing. That's all there is.
So if I was here and I wanted to go to the Facebook lead page, how would I do that?
Facebook lead page is separate. So you have to close this. Would you like to save? No. Let's click on one question. Quick. This lead form should come up, right?
Yeah.
Sri?
Yes. Oh.
No, I was asking my partner Sri if he is on the call.
Yeah, I finally got that. His name is similar to the word "see," which people often use to mean, do you understand that or do you see that? So sometimes.
No, sorry.
I think you're asking me a question.
Yeah. So it's so let me show you a couple of, I think the responsive ads. Let me show you this. So if I look at responsive, right? So you got Google responsive ads. And what this is so let me just explain this a little bit. So on the text side, right, you can put in different headlines. You can say, you know what, I want 2 headlines. Just give me a headline like for this.
I have not thought things through, but just simply, do you want benefit 1?
Do you want benefit 1? Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then give me another headline.
Another one might be, is pain 2 bothering you?
Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's fine.
Okay, so what it does now, let's look at description as an example. So you give me like 2 descriptions.
Yeah, here, this is what happens if you enjoy benefit 1.
Okay, and then if you have another headline, like a variant of that headline, then we can put that.
This is what pain 2 looks like and why it's horrible. Kind of like this. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now what it does, so you got 2 headlines, right? And then you got 2 descriptions. Now it will create 4 combinations, right? So for each one of them, there is 2 descriptions. For each headline, there's 2, so there's 4 of them. So it'll create really 4 ads. And then again, you have to enter the long headline, which is single. Yeah. So you can say, look, if you have any suggestion on the long headline.
Enjoy this benefit and avoid this pain.
Okay, so kind of like this. So if you put this, then you can choose your business name. You can enter, I think, you said Z Magic, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then you can choose like a call to action, and you can say, hey, sign up, that type of stuff. So typically,
Now, this is interesting. You chose Facebook for this, right?
actually, it's not Facebook. This is just, sorry. This is Crigloo, our website.
This is Google.
Yeah, this is Google.
Is it Google? Okay.
Yeah.
I've been going through training, and I can't remember, but one of them, whether it's Google or Facebook, has maybe a dozen call to action choices. You're just pulling from whatever the API gives you, right?
Right,
so whatever they have, you're showing here.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
See, what we have done, Keith, is that if it's unified, our list is smaller. So for example, if you're running it on 3 networks, we only have what is common. But if you want to keep it separate, you can do it like this. it's a lot. And this has a full list. So if you want to say, I want the full Facebook list, since you're not running a Facebook here, it doesn't show up. But that's what we have created. Basically, if it's unified, your list is smaller. But if it's separate, then the list is longer. That's what it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that way, it's just the typing. So the goal is like not only the AI and all that other stuff, but people want some basic productivity, because you guys are all busy with so many things. If you can save, let's say, I don't know, half an hour for running a campaign, because instead of running it in 4 networks, you're running it very, very quickly, then you can save a lot of time. I mean, and half an hour per day, we're running, let's say, like, I don't know, 2-3 campaigns a month. Just productivity will save like 2 hours, frankly. And then looking at the data, like think about the data analysis, right? You got to go to 3, 4, 5 places, and you just come here and you just run. And another thing that I forgot to mention is every user that's on the system right now will get something called a daily digest. Okay. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it, but it's a very simple 1-pager. Let me do one thing. I closed all my email.
Okay.
Sri, do you want to share that, the daily digest? Are you by a computer?
I'll just forward it to you. Just a moment. Keep talking. I'll forward it to you.
1 second. So what the daily digest is, it's very neat. It's like checking the. So if you're not a doctor, obviously, you said you're a programmer, but a doctor needs vital stats. I call it the vital stats for the campaign. It's really the vital stats. It says, is the patient's heart beating? What's their pressure? What's their glucose reading? Whatever it is. Let's say it's whatever you want. The vital stats are provided. It's a simple 1-pager that will just give you a snapshot of your campaigns. It's just super easy. It's like 4 weeks. I'll show it to you in a second. It's in my email. I closed everything because I want to minimize my screens. I just closed everything. Let's just open my email. 1 second.
I've sent it to you, Badri.
Oh, 1 second. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is, hope you can see my screen here. So if you look at this, right, so it shows you what you've spent and when you have spent the money, what campaign activity, how much money was spent, what's your impressions, what's your clicks, what's your website visits, is it organic, is it direct, is it driven from the campaign? So you can see, you can peel the onion. This is what I mean by customer journey. See, like, how did they come? Did they come to the campaign directly by typing your website, or because this is what you're paying money for? See, like if you look at this is where the dough is going out of your wallet. And these are organic searches, and direct means you're directly typing zmagic.com on the Chrome page, as you know. And then social engagement, right? How many Facebook page views, LinkedIn page unique views, and then what are the goals set? How are they doing? I mean, it's like a lot of data, but for data, like I wouldn't say a lot of data, just a simple digest of everything that you want to know, not just for 1 week. So it's like 5 weeks. So if you're running a campaign, like you don't even have to get into our page. You'll just get it every day into your inbox. You look at it and you can turn it off at will. If you say, you know what, I'm not running any campaign for the next couple of months. I don't want this, because it'll be mostly empty if you're not running even if you're not running a campaign, it'll still show you how many people are coming into your website, etc. That's another interesting thing. If let's say you stop, so this is a good thought experiment, right? Let's say you stop a campaign for a few months or a month, let's say. You can see what your organic and direct searches are, like how many people are coming into your website without a campaign. So this gives you, when you turn the tap off, are you still getting water in a metaphorical sense?
Yeah.
So these
And
are
just
some,
to add, oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead, see.
No, I was just going to add one thing to what Badri said. So what some of our customers actually use this report is, to see the effectiveness of the campaign. So they see the before and after effect. So before you run a campaign, how are things, how do the numbers look? And then once you start the campaign, right, what happens? And after that, and that's very useful because see, not all campaigns, are going to be effective because there are so many things at play. And this helps many times. So based on this, even some customers have decided that, at certain times of the year, there's no point running campaigns.
Right.
Organically, they're doing quite good. So they don't need to spend money on the ad networks. So we have put this in a digest such a form that it's very easy to understand what's actually going on.
Yeah, that's a great point. And so just to add to it, right? One way you can look at it is that before you even start any campaigns with us, you just see this digest. Look at it. Okay, what is my organ? Of course, if you're brand new to the business, you probably get crickets. But if you're, let's say, you're in motion in some sense, then without campaigns, you can see what you're getting on your own. Campaign will be all zero, right? Then you say, you know what, I want to start my campaign and let's see what my traffic is. Is it increasing significantly, etc. So that type of diagnostics is what allows you to, this kind of simple report allows you to do. I mean, all this data is there in tool itself, but you don't have to bother. Let's say you are on the go, you're on an airport, you look at it, you can look at your email and say, you know what, you can call somebody who's running your campaigns and say, look, make this change. So that type of stuff can be done, and it's quite rapid. So these are kind of like added stuff that no company has. I'm not kidding you. Like nobody is putting out all these reports in simplified forms. Some of it is, they're putting eye candies in some sense. In some cases, we've not done those eye candies on the front page, but we have actually done a lot of legwork to build the infrastructure for running campaigns.
And we get one of these per brand?
Per
yes,
brand.
correct. For
Yes,
every brand, you get one report. Yes.
Exactly. So if you have 4 clients, let's say as an example, right? You'll get 4 of these and you can share this with your client and say, you know what, don't worry about it. You just see this, you're done. You don't need to get into Crigloo and all that, because this is what is the patient heart beating, or their vitals safe? I'm just using metaphors here, but you get my point, I'm sure.
Sure.
That's what this is. You don't need to go anywhere, and you can still run your campaigns. Very, very simple, easy to see, and simple numbers.
So while I'm thinking about brands, I bought 2 codes, which will be plenty for me for a while as I build up my own, get my own marketing going. Eventually, what's that?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just saying, okay.
Eventually, I'm going to want to be using this for clients, and
we'll absolutely work 300% to fix it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I sense that from you. Let's go back to the responsive ad.
Okay, let's pick up where we left off. Okay, so in this case, right, so the whole idea of responsive, just to recap, is that it's able to it's able to give you all these combinations that you can't get. And another aspect is, it flexes with the real estate. So I think we talked about newspapers and magazines and online publications in general. The real estate is not fixed, right? You can have your ad placed in any kind of real estate available for the day. Obviously, you can't decide a priori what exactly this pixel size is going to be, right? So what this does is you give a certain size in a certain dimension. If the actual ad is going to be shrunk, let's say in 1/2, then it will automatically shrink it. We will automatically shrink it and send it to Google and all that other stuff. So that's what this is. This is useful in a sense where you give it in a certain format that we specify, then we can we can either expand or contract depending on the real estate available.
All right, so question here, the top two boxes for dropping images, those are actually logo images?
Yes, that's correct. And then these are the actual
below
image.
Below that is the ad creative image.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, please
Why
go
do
ahead.
people do multiple versions of their logo?
And logo, we don't have multiple.
It
You're saying
says
what if?
It says add up to 5 logos.
Yeah. Sorry, I take it back. So you can add up to 5 logos because what it does is that it creates the combination. So let's say you add up to 5 and then you add up to 15 images, then it'll create 75 combinations.
No, I get that. I'm just wondering why
Somebody would do that. If let's say you're a new business, this is only for new business. Let's say you're a new business, you don't know which logo is going to be attractive to your customer, then you do this at a very beginning. But you don't do it. Coca-Cola is not going to run this campaign because their logo is like, it's age old and it's like everlasting. Like Ford Motor is not going to change their logo, or Google is not going to change their logo. I mean, these are large companies are not going to change that. But if you're a starting solopreneur wanting to test the waters and see, hey, what logo is going to resonate with my customer base or future customer base, then you can test it here. You can say, you know what, I'm going to try a couple. So you don't need to do 5. I would say you do 2 or 3 and see what clicks with the customer. And keep the image the same, like the bottom image the same. Try 3 of them there, and you can see, look, this is what people like, right? All other, see, the thing about it is the beauty is that everything is fixed except one. So you know exactly why that is resonating, right? If let's say logo number 2 is better based on customer feedback, then you go with logo 2. That's it.
So in fact,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to make one point. In fact, Crigloo, we have 4 logos, Keith. So 2 are just the igloo. So one is blue on white, the other one is white and blue. And then 2 others have a text in the bottom which says Crigloo. So we have 4 variants. So we could test we could put all 4 there and see, or 3 rather here, and see which one actually works for what audience.
Yeah, and actually we have tested that in some cases, and we have landed on where we think is reasonable and based on what logo is resonating. So you can do the same for your company. Let's say in the initial stages, you are testing the waters, getting your feet wet. This is the best way. You can just try it out and see like where you're getting the most bang for your buck.
Here's a thought that I had that might be an interesting feature to consider down the road. Because one big reason for doing a different logo would be having a light logo on a dark picture versus a dark logo on a light picture. So right now to do that, I'd probably have to have 2 different ad sets because you wouldn't want to be mixing those. But it would be kind of interesting if you could upload and say, okay, these are my dark images, these are my light images, and only put the opposite logo on them. So you're only doing light on dark or only doing dark on light. That could be interesting.
Yeah. You can test those. You can put light logo and dark image, which is down below, and then dark logo and light image down below. So you can test and then see which one is going to work for your customer base or future customer base. So I mean, those kinds of tests. See, the whole idea of this is testing. So think about it as like you're in a chemical lab. You don't know exactly what mixture of compounds is going to work. I don't know if your background is engineering, but mine is. So it's like in a lab, right? You're putting different things and seeing what works. And we are basically allowing people to create a chemistry lab, if you will. And only certain.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
Do you have any examples of where you've done multivariate testing with a couple different headlines, a couple of different bodies, descriptions, 2 or 3 different images and logos, and then you've run traffic to it so that and then you can show me what the analysis looks like to help see how each variation is performing?
Absolutely. I mean, like I can show it to you another time. We have a lot of analysis like this. We absolutely have done for companies, and we can show you some stuff down the road. Absolutely.
Oh, just down the road.
to-
Okay. As
yes.
part of this demo, that might be useful, but
Yeah.
whenever it works.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll prepare something and then show it to you, because I don't want to kind of wing it. It's in my computer somewhere, but I will
I got you.
definitely show that. Absolutely. That's a great point. So where we can say, you know what, these are the variants we tried. These are the images. These are the texts. Absolutely. That's a great point.
That's stuff that automatically, Crigloo automatically shows somewhere.
Right.
Okay. What else would be good to show me today?
Okay. So let me show you a couple of more things. Like to save in draft mode now. So I'm going to go to the front of the, would you like to save? No. So I don't know if you got a chance to sort of take a spin on this. So this dashboard, we are also going to introduce like a pause button right here instead of going inside and pausing. So we're going to create a pause.
That's awesome.
Yeah. One other thing I want to show here is it's kind of cool. You got to be really nerdy to trip on this. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Let's look at this. So this is a manual campaign. So just to recap, right? This is again brand on the top, campaign below that. It's a traffic campaign, and the mode is manual. So just to recap, automatic means you only set one budget for the whole campaign, and we split the budget based on performance. Manual means you have elected to put individual dollars into each of the networks. So that's the difference. And in the manual mode, one of the cool things, this is web analytics. I don't know if you've ever got a chance to look at it. These are the things that other companies don't have. That's what I was trying to say before. You can literally figure out what events to put in. For example, if you have add to cart, purchase, submit form, all of that can be tracked. So if you have, even if you don't have e-commerce, let's say you have a couple of buttons you want to track, you can create events, and those events would show up here. And the beauty of this is it'll allow you to know what is working, right? For example, if you're getting, I don't know, 1,000 people onto your website, but only a fraction of them are going to click, you will know what the profile of that customer is. So that type of stuff can be done. That's one. The other cool thing I want to show you is when you're running all these campaigns, let's say in these networks. So this is where you put the dollars. This is Google Search, Google Display, Facebook Social, and Instagram. So those are the 4 networks, and you're running campaigns between, let's say, tomorrow and then June 10th, let's just say. You click on this. So you get this personas, which we discussed, I think in last session, and then the audience. So once you do this, here you can literally say, you know what, I want my persona to be mapped to the ad. So this is completely manual, because in the automatic case, this whole box is not going to be there, but in the manual case. But one other thing I want to show you, this is not the most important. I'll show you one cool thing in a second.
Badri, I just want to make one point here.
Yeah, go ahead. Jump in.
So Keith, what you're seeing here is, see, ours is a unified tool, right? So you could create your ad sets or ad groups, as Google calls it, right here itself, and then so you can do it the unified way. And the way we publish it is, so we take care of the the complexity that's there in the backend. So what I mean by that, let's say you have multiple personas, multiple ad sets, different locations. So in Google, location is at the campaign header level, right? So we create multiple campaigns in Google, whereas in Facebook, they become multiple ad sets. So you don't have to go to individual platforms and then figure out, where how each campaign has to be set up, right? All these things are taken care of by ourselves. So you just come here, set up your. You just say that, okay, these ads have to be shown to this audience. That's all you need to do, and we take care of all the complexity behind.
Yeah, awesome.
And see, here's another thing you might find interesting. Again, this is, you got to really geek out on this. So a campaign, right, has something called ad sets, which you may be familiar with if you're just starting out, based on personas, right? Now you can literally pause and play any of the campaign. So there is 2 pauses, right? One is a pause for the entire campaign. And the campaign is when we use the word campaign, what we mean is it's Facebook, Google, Instagram, whatever you have chosen. that entire set is called a campaign in our terminology. And within
Yep.
that, you can choose to pause and play sub campaigns. You can say, you know what, I want to stop social with this ad set because it's not doing well. So you can just stop that. Or I want to stop Google search because it's too costly. I can't afford it. So you can literally pause and play at that kind of level. So even though we talk about AI and all that, we still give a lot of control to the user, because at the end of the day, unless you're comfortable, you're not going to just renege control. That's human nature, right? It's like saying, you know what, I have a self-driving car. It works, but there are instances where I have to take charge. You know, even in the most advanced, self-driving cars that are present today. I mean, it's not available, I think, widely, but Tesla has it and a few other companies offer it. But the user has control. Like you can just say, you know what, stop the self-driving. I'm going to take charge of it. So that type of stuff we do.
That's only if we've set up manual, not automatic, right?
Yes, yes. We are going to give that switch over. I think Jenny talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're going to allow this kind of midstream switch between automatic and to manual. We are going to do that because I think this is like a self-driving car where, hey, I do trust you guys, but not 100%. So if I have to take charge, then you have to give me control. So that, so the best analogy is the self-driving cars where I'm going to be on cruise. If I'm going on a straight highway with no curves and nothing, crazy, then I'm going to give control to Crigloo. But in some corner cases where Crigloo's algorithm is not doing what I think it should do, let's say you assume that, I'm not saying it is, but let's say you assume that, then you can take charge of it. So we're going to allow that control switch over to the human user on the fly. We're going to do that because right now the way we thought of is it's either automatic or manual. But I think we can see a reason why users might want to take control, and I think it's just part of the human condition.
And if we take that analogy a little further, with the self-driving car, when the human takes over because you've got a construction up ahead, you want to be able to go back to automatic mode after you've taken control. Yeah. So you're in automatic. You say, I want to go pause this ad set for whatever reason. So I slip into manual mode, do pause on that, and then back into automatic mode. Keep going, except now with this one thing paused. Yeah.
I think we are evaluating how to construct this in the most, because one of the things to remember in the automatic mode is the way the whole algorithm, any statistical model works is it needs a little bit of time to learn, and once any changes happen, then it has to relearn some of the stuff. That's all. And I at the end of the day, we hear you as users in the community, and we're going to do a schema by which you're going to get control. If you're in automatic, you still would be able to gain control, because that's the best way to.
If we're in manual, you're still doing a lot of AI optimization, right?
In some sense, we are, because you have personas, you have all that stuff. But at the end of the day, if it is manual mode, then certain things are not turned on. But we do have certain other things. Yes, absolutely.
Do you have rule-based or goal-based automation AI? I think
actually, see, that's one thing that we don't have currently, which we're going to have in the coming release, I would say. Because
that's one of the things that ads cook.
Okay.
People seem to really like about that. I bought their thing just to explore it, compare it to you and see which one I want to keep. But sorry. And there's a lot of things about them that are good, but there are other things that are not as good as you. But they're the ability to go in and say, I want you to do your AI optimizations, but with the goal of this, optimize high traffic or optimize to lowest cost per click, or they have a whole series of rules or goals that you can set, and then the AI adjusts everything to try to reach that goal. And that's pretty cool.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I think we recognize such a rule based stuff. Absolutely. I think the way our goals are set, just to be clear, is that we look at, for example, if you have chosen awareness campaign, then that is our goal, really. I mean, but in a sense that the first objective you choose And that's what is a starting motor, if you will. That's what starts the engine. It tells us, okay, if you're choosing a traffic campaign, then you're interested in getting more people into your website. That automatically is taken as a goal by our system. But if you want explicitly stated, I think your point is a good one, which is users need to see things in order for them to get what we are doing. I think we're going to make some of the rules. It's the way we have done it is we have taken it as implicit rules. For example, when you choose an objective, then you are implicitly stating that you want to maximize traffic on your website by choosing a traffic site. If you're saying leads, then that's what you're saying. So we are using that objective. When you choose the objective, we are taking that as the goal for you in some sense. That's how we are doing it.
So if we have that objective, let's say our objective is conversions.
Right.
And that is one of your options, right?
Right.
Okay. So if the objective is conversions, and we've got here 6 different ad sets, and we do it and we say manual, will your AI, in addition, manual means we're controlling the budget, the maximum budget, but will you automatically redirect traffic to high performing and away from low performing? And are there times that you say, okay, this one is just not doing well, so we're going to turn it off now? How many different things are you guys doing with your AI?
So good question. See, in the manual mode, the knobs that we give you are personas and things like that, where you can see it yourself. So we are not directly intervening and saying, what, play and pause this ad. We are basically giving full control to you to be able to do that. But in automatic mode, all of the stuff that you're seeing in the screen is being done by the system.
And so it will redirect traffic to the higher performing, away from lower performing, and at some point pause various ad sets or individual ads.
Absolutely. Yes.
Or say, okay, this headline in this ad set and in this ad combination, this headline is not working well with that image, so we're going to turn that combination off, but continue with the other combinations for a while in that same ad set.
Yes, that's correct. And you got the whole idea. So basically, given all the combinations, which combination is performing best, that'll get played more often. The ones that are not performing, so we stack rank them and then play it accordingly. That's how we do that.
All right. So it sounds like, if I'm understanding you, when we say manual, pretty much it's as if we were doing it all ourselves. AI is not doing much, but it gives us full control.
Yeah, full control. That's correct. Yep, that's correct. Because in the manual mode,
if we want your AI to do its magic, we have to be doing the automatic one.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's how we have designed it now. Like I said, certain things we can sort of relook at it and see if there's a hybrid approach we can take. Like I said, the Tesla is a known quantity. I mean, it's an example that resonates with a lot of people, because we see incidents about Tesla, not the autopilot not doing as well in certain corner cases, I call it. And same thing here, if there's a construction, then boom, like if something, there could be corner cases where you may have to take control or take charge. We are working to enable that. But just to answer your specific question, in the manual mode, we give you full control. In the automatic mode, we take charge of it. But
so
I think that
one thing to just be aware of, for me certainly, and I imagine for a lot of people, we get nervous with black box solutions.
Okay.
Where you say, okay, our cool stuff happens inside this black box, and you can never see what it is. All you can see is the output. And so it would be, I think, really useful as a future enhancement. When somebody chooses automatic, you show them, you have a place where they can see what the AI is doing, what decisions, so that along the way you say, okay, we turned this headline off. We are doing, we're increasing traffic to this ad set. We're doing more of this combination of headline and image and description, and to be able to see that as it's going would add a lot of comfort to trusting the AI.
Yeah, I think you said it better than I had it. So that's well said. We are on it. So we're going to even show under the hood what's happening. It's like almost like this is something like like a factory tour, if you will. Like how does the machine churn out and then come out with a finished product. So I think we need to show what the AI is doing. I think that's a well stated position of yours, and I think it makes total sense to us that we have to show what's under the hood and make people comfortable that what we say is what the machine is delivering, and that way you are comfortable using that option. I completely understand. But I think for a start, Keith, what I would suggest is you just start with the manual option with just one ad set and see how it runs. So that's what I would say. Like rather than I would say take baby steps. It's like dipping your toe in the water before you jump into the pool, right? Just take one step at a time and increase your complexity and comfort level. And then, if you can kindly provide any feedback to us, we're happy to take it and modify it. So like I said, the codes, we can certainly do that for you. If you can, give us feedback on the reviews, we're happy to do those things. And I think you're a sort of frank, user, and you also have a programming background. So you understand that when you build a complex system like what we have, there's bound to be like some balls that might not be exactly where you think it should be, for example. So
sure.
that is also a great thing for us to know, because if you're a non-program, if you're purely business person, they'd be like, yeah, well, you don't have this, you don't have, because it's very difficult for them to imagine that building a complex system with many users in mind, because you were saying one thing, right, which is all great points, but another user who's another coast, for let's say an example, they might say, I want something else. So we are trying to juggle different balls and see how best to satisfy the user base. That's what we're doing.
That makes perfect sense. Just understand that nobody else's opinion matters, just mine.
I love that. I love what you said.
So I am hoping to be starting my first ad campaign this week. Okay. And so I'm definitely going to be digging into it and trying some of these things out. I was going through a course, and I just want your opinion. It's not really about the software. It's about your understanding of ad effectiveness. And that is, they said, don't ever pause a whole campaign if you're planning on unpausing it, because it messes up the algorithms. Yeah, you could instead pause all of the ad sets inside the campaign. Yeah, is that your understanding as well? Yeah. We don't generally recommend pausing. So that's why, to be honest, we didn't even give a pause button for the campaign. And one of the users came back and said, I need a pause button. See, this is the problem, right? Each person has their own sort of thing. And this person said, I need a pause button. So I had to yield. And then we are putting a pause button in the front page, in the dashboard I showed you. But your point is a good one, which is ad set pausing is better. And that's why we have that here. You can literally pause ad set by ad set. That's a better option than, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was going to say that, in fact, we had a real life example where one of our customers, they kept pausing and playing campaigns very frequently in Facebook. And one fine day, they got their account disabled. Oh, wow. And later on, they found that because Facebook doesn't like it. So here's how I think you handle that. What you do is, first of all, you can hardly ever go wrong with more control. But you give the pause button at the campaign level, but when somebody clicks it, you pop up a warning. And you say, you can do this, but just be aware, here's why you might not want to. Do you still want to do it? Yeah. See, another thing that is also recommended, Keith, is that you don't want to frequently edit the campaigns, like in any of these tools, especially in a short duration campaign. If you keep, altering the budgets, I mean, of course, if you had a fat fingering and all that, you should. For example, you want to spend $1,000 and you put 10,000, for example, by mistake, then obviously you don't want to spend $10,000, right? So
in that case, you have to step in and tell the tool to stop it. But for most cases, you don't want to be so it's like being in the stock market is probably a good example. If you're a day trader, most day traders don't make money, right? Seriously. Few of them do, but a lot of day traders come with their face punched because it's very hard to keep in and out. It's exactly like that. If you keep day trading in this ad system, you're not going to succeed. You're better off thinking through it carefully, doing it once and shipping it. And then of course, if there is huge problems, you gotta take action. There's no question. Like I said, ad set pausing is better, but you don't want to frequently pause and play campaigns. Even for us, the AI stuff, we're not doing it every minute. For example, we had an option, hey, can we do every 15 minutes? No, we don't do that. We are taking deliberate action, so that way the machine is not going to derail, right? So we are taking the pause and play very carefully, and that's how we are doing campaigns. And another thing to keep in mind is don't run campaigns for 2 days and all that, because then it'll not do anything. Even if you're going to run let's say you have a limited budget, you put a slightly bigger budget. Let's say you want to spend $100 a day. I'm just giving an example, right? So $3,000 a month. So you say $3,000 a month. Even if you want to run it only for a week, you put 3,000, and a week passes by, you just pause it. That's it. You're done. And you can stop the campaign that way. So if you're putting a very low budget, what happens is these behemoths, Google and Facebook, won't even play your campaign, and you won't get much visibility. So if you put a slightly bigger budget over a longer period, don't have to put, see, you can choose to put a daily budget of, let's say, $100 and say, you know what, I want to run a campaign for 2 months. Let's just say you say that. So it's basically what, $6,000, right? Just roughly speaking. So if you say, I want to spend over 2 months, $6,000, then Google knows you're investing $6,000. At least it thinks as a machine. Now, when you go into the real world after a week, you might say, you know what, I'm done. That's all the money I have. I don't want to spend more. You can stop it, right? That's a better option than just going with, let's say, $600 campaign, right? See, Google, when you put 600 versus 6,000, it'll play 6,000 all day long. It's just the way the algorithm works. We have seen it live, where you put more dollars in front of Google, they immediately bite it.
Yeah, that makes sense. The other thing that I remember reading or seeing in this course that I've been taking is they say rather than modify a campaign or an ad set, copy it and put it into a new campaign and then make the adjustments there.
Yeah, that's also a good option. Absolutely. That's,
Make that easy. Is that easy to do?
Yeah, we can copy the campaigns. Absolutely. There is a button in the dashboard. Let me just 1 second. Let me show it to you. So you can close this. Would you like to save in draft mode now? Oops, I think it's timed me out. Sorry. 1 second. This is something that we got to change because we're timing out people.
While Badri is pulling it up, Keith, so some of this knowledge that we have gained over a period of time, that there are certain things that we can change more frequently than others. For example, anytime we make a change to the ad set, it goes for a review. Google and Facebook, they don't allow frequent changes to the creative itself, and so that's something we have to be careful of. Whereas a budget change is okay, but not too often. Maybe once a day is okay, but if you start doing budget changes more often, sometimes they either put us in lower priority, or worst case, they block our account. So there are certain things they like, or they're okay with, but there are many other things that they just don't like. So what they want is predictability, because they have their own machine learning algorithm that learns. In fact, the initial few hours or sometimes even days just goes in their algorithm learning how to run the campaign. And if you start making adjustments within that period, they don't like it.
Yep, that makes sense. Something to consider along that, an idea that came to me while Sri was explaining that is on your manual side, you give people control to do what they want, but you just warn them. If you know that a decision they're making is something that Google or Facebook doesn't like, just pop something up to warn people. That would be a huge, all by itself, saying, look, you have complete control here, but we're also going to give you, training wheels. So that can't make, so that you don't make mistakes without at least knowing that you're making a mistake.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So speaking of copy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you got a chance. So on the dashboard, there is a campaign called 4-step manual. I hit the
Yeah.
copy button and then it copied, and you're inside the campaign now. So you can literally do whatever you want, and it's the contents of the campaign are completely copied, and you can just change this rather than changing the original campaign and running afoul of these big boys.
Awesome. I like it.
Okay, super. Keith, I think we are coming up, or actually we are past the hour.
Yep.
I'm here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not, stingy with time, so I can give you more time too. But
Oh,
if
I
you have,
think this is a good time to break for today. And are you doing this every day, including the weekend, or just Monday through Friday?
I mean, if